Healing takes a lot of guts, especially starting out, and especially if you're doing it alone. If you're noticing that there's something in your life that is not good for you and you need to make changes. Maybe you need to leave people. Maybe you need to leave places. And it sort of uproots you and throws you into uncertainty and fear. And to in that heal it feels nearly impossible. But it is exactly then that healing is possible. And I think the more you suffer and the more you feel it, the bigger the change, the bigger the healing. Or let's say the bigger the potential for healing. Because obviously we know so many people who do uproot their lives to change, but they don't heal, they don't look. They're too scared to turn inward. And they continue down the road they have their entire lives. Because it is this comfort, even when we know it's unhealthy, even when we know it hurts. It's the comfort of the pain that keeps us going back over and over again. So you might muster the strength to leave an abusive relationship, for example, only to find yourself in another abusive relationship down the line because you have not addressed the pain, the healing. You have not looked inward to see what's going on, how you are acting and reacting, and ultimately what is really driving you underneath it all. I reached a point where my healing has really, really slowed down because, and I hope this is the reason, because I think I have done it. I have healed myself. It's out. And it's such a peaceful state to live in. To be allowed to authentically show up, to look around and see the world as it is without having the clouded judgment of trauma, without having the fear that puts a filter on everything. It's the most peaceful thing, and it has been so worth it. And sometimes I feel like all I want to do is force people to heal because I know how valuable it is. I know how important it is. And it is a must. I'm so passionate about it. I really want to force you to heal. I want to force everyone to heal. And I know it doesn't work that way. And I'm not doing that, but I want to. Every cell in my body is screaming to just every person I pass on the street. I just want to go to them and ask them where their pain is. And I think maybe I come across a little bit as, wow, she's always focused on the pain, on trauma, on fear. And God, it's not that bad. Like she's too much. But I really do believe that people run deep. And I keep seeing it happen over and over and over again. I meet someone, or even someone who has been in my life for a very long time, and I think, well, they're fine. They're all good. I'm the one who went through a rough patch, and I had a tough life, a tough upbringing, and that's my pain. I don't have to sort of project it on other people, right? Not everyone has trauma. Not everyone has pain. Not everyone needs to heal. And then I have this one person in my life, and I think, well, they've got it all together. It's all perfect. I mean, not perfect, but, they're living well. They have a stable job and a stable relationship and a great friends group and healthy children and you're going on holidays a few times a year, and I mean a full and happy life. And you would think, okay, well, all of the stuff that I do and talk about doesn't apply to them, and that's a blessing for them. That's great. And then as time goes on, then suddenly you see signs. And I notice the more I step back and don't force people to heal, like I said earlier, that's what I want to do, but I don't do it. So the more space I provide and just watch and just be, and not even watch, like I'm not watching for anything to happen. I just am. I mean, I'm talking about family and friends here. And all of a sudden, after a year of sort of dipping their toes into what I'm doing and what I'm talking about all the time, suddenly this stuff surfaces. Oh, they're not happy. Oh, there's all this going on. Oh, that's breaking down. And then it's another case of, okay, we've got to do some healing here. There's healing to do, and I mean, half of me, to be honest, half of me is like excited and happy. Because it's like, yes, this is an amazing opportunity. And then the other half is like, oh, crap, I thought you were happy. I'm sorry. But yay, come on, this is great. But I'm noticing more and more, no one is exempt. I don't think there is a single person that is not affected. And I'm not talking about proper traumatized. I'm just saying there is not a single human being in this world that does not need to heal. We all need to heal. And maybe nothing bad happened to you, and that's fine. But I think just the fact that you were born and that you lost your connection to your true self, to the universe, the fact that you had to come into this world to find yourself again, I think that in itself is the healing. You can heal a lot of other stuff. You can heal trauma and you can heal stuff that happens in life. But you can do that your entire life and things aren't really going to change. True healing is finding yourself again. And with that, I am talking about recognizing your true nature. That is not the human, that is the consciousness, that is the awareness behind it all. And once you get that, and then yes, there is a lot you chuck the whole human, but you chuck it in such a loving way. And you chuck it in a way that it's not garbage, but that it's falling in love with all of it. So I don't even know what you'd call it. You have to rise above the whole thing so that you can embrace the whole world and all of it in it, everything you've been through, everything that you're going to go through. The pain becomes just another word, it's pain isn't negative anymore. The negative connotation that we carry when we hear the word pain, it sort of leaves you. It becomes just another word, and there is pain and you witness it and you struggle through it. You might cry through it depending on how severe it is. And somehow you're witnessing it, you're observing it with such a distance. It's a distance that allows you to be so intimate with it and so close to it, closer than you were before. Before you become the witness, before you realize that you are the consciousness, you are in it and you're lost in it. And you struggle through it. It's like being in the water and you are fighting to stay afloat. And you're getting tired and tired, more and more tired. You are lost in it. But when you step back, you're not separate and detached, but you are able to now fully embrace it and fully immerse in it, if that makes sense. Yeah, anyway, so I had this person very close to me, and I always thought that they were just so well put together and nothing to worry about. And it's a privilege and a joy to watch them come out, and it's so fun to talk to them, to guide them without really telling them what to do, but just asking questions, reminding them to, drop things, that things are okay the way they are. There's nothing to do, just relaxing and stepping back and allowing them or giving them the space to also find space for themselves and to see things from a broader perspective, and then to watch them make mistakes and learn from that. And it's so exciting for me to see that growth and how it all happens, where they just can't see what I'm saying or what I'm pointing at. And in this specific case, it's not just me thinking like, oh, I know what's right, and here you go, I'll tell you what to do. This is me as, a close friend giving advice, and other friends giving the same advice, and this person still not being able to see it or not wanting to do it because they weren't ready. And I love seeing that, because it's not such a rigid, this is the right thing, this is the wrong thing, you got to do this, you got to grow, you got to get better, you got to wake up. Like, it's none of that. There's such a softness in it, and every stage of life that you're in is perfect and is great. Whatever you're going through, whatever problem you think you have right now, and whatever you're navigating, it's completely okay, and you're not going to make a mistake. Whatever you're doing, if it doesn't work out, you're learning from it. It's such a beautiful learning opportunity. Nothing's final. Do you know what I mean? And to really see that happen, I saw it happen in myself, and I see it happen in myself, and to see it happen to people around me, and how we are all so alike. It's so beautiful. I find it so beautiful. So yeah, this person couldn't listen and had to go through with whatever they had to go through. And I knew that they couldn't listen to me and the other friends because their soul had to have this negative experience in order to learn and to grow. And to have that compassion and patience with the people in our lives, to allow them to be on their journey, to be a stable presence for them, and to give space and guidance if it's asked for, and then to just sit back and allow them to live their life without freaking out, without being upset that they didn't listen, without any negativity, just a gentle watching, and how it's a privilege that we get to watch other people live their lives and share our journeys in this life. And then to see that growth happen. That's something, and then it didn't work out, and now they're ready. Now they have lived through this experience, and their soul has learned the lesson, or went through it to let the body learn the lesson, and now it can move on, and now they can move on. I find it incredible. It's such a privilege to cheer people on, to watch them on this journey. And I think I'm able to do that with myself too now. where when I feel terrified, for example, I'm terrified and I feel like I can't do this, and I have to remind myself, it's like, you can, this is new to you. So it's scary and you don't know, but you're learning. Just keep learning one day at a time. One day at a time. And it's this, sit back, breathe, just one day at a time. Whatever happens, happens. Whatever is meant to happen will happen. And again, there is no failure. There is only learning. There are no mistakes. There are only lessons. And I'm going through a terrifying time right now, trying to build my new business. And I'm just thinking, I can't do this. I have not done this before. What makes me think that I can do this? And it's terrifying. But I'm noticing as I continue on week after week, day after day, it's all coming together. And I need to remind myself to just breathe and be patient and to just keep my focus and keep my discipline and just do one day at a time, and it'll all come together. And I see it come together. But then there's suddenly this new task, this new obstacle or whatever. And I tend to go back into this, freak out mode. Like, I can't do this. What the hell is this? I've never done this before. And again, it's like I'm coaching myself through it. Just relax. We've done this before. Just look back, it's all working out. And this is the next one. Just one day at a time, one day at a time. And it's funny, I can watch this happening from this other level where, I'm freaking out and I can feel it all happen in my body. I can feel the tension. I can feel my heart beat a bit faster. And then there is this thought process that's trying to change, trying to make it all positive, where I'm almost talking to myself, and then all of that is observed. And I love watching it. I love watching it. It is such a joy. So this business that I'm building is actually, I think that's my heart project, my absolute dream. This will be my dream job. It's basically coaching, but using my horses. So equine assisted learning, coupled with other things that I'm studying right now, with positive psychology and trauma and all these little bits, but all coming together and being integrated with my horses, to bring people this incredible sense of peace, calm, and safety that you get when you're around a horse. And I don't know if you guys have ever been around a horse, how much you've been around horses and how, or what type of horses. Mine are so unique. And I think everyone who owns horses says that. But mine really are so unique because I don't ride them, right? So they're purebred Arabians. And I can tell you stories about Arabians for hours and hours. And I'm not going to do that because this is not about horses. But there is something special about horses that I don't get from other animals. Some essence, something that's out of this world. And they are actually the ones who helped me heal, who were the catalyst for my growth and my journey. Apart from just horses having this unique ability to connect and wake something up in us humans, the Arabian horse is still a bit more special. And I know people are going to hate me for it if they have other breeds that they love. But the Arabian horse is basically the first horse, right? They're the first breed of horse that is basically used to breed all other horses that are known around the world now. And they are known, or they're said to have a special bond to humans that the other horse breeds don't have. They have yet another ability to be even more in tune with us. And this goes back to, the olden days, like in the desert where the Bedouins had these Arabian horses in the tents with them. And they grew such strong, intimate bonds with their horses, and there are incredible stories about these Arabian horses, really. But yeah, so I have 2 Arabian boys, and they are so special. So I don't ride them. I work with them on the ground, and we do it completely free. So they don't wear a halter. I don't have them on the lead rope. They're completely free, and they can choose to come and train with me and play with me, or they can choose to walk away and do their own thing. So at no time are they restricted. They are 6 and 8 years old, and I've had them since they were little. And I have raised them putting the utmost attention and focus on their freedom. It's the most important thing for me that they are free and that they know it, and that they can communicate with me, and that I will do my absolute best to listen to them. And I am still learning, and I think they still get upset with me or irritated because I'm a slow learner with them. I try so hard to be tuned in and present, because they pull you out of your head. Anytime I'm with them, they just pull you out. But then I think humans are so klutzy when it comes to spirituality, when it comes to this higher wisdom and really being still and in the moment. And it is so natural for the horses to be there. And I think my 2 have been patiently waiting for me to join them there. So they are the type of horse that they haven't been forced to do anything. If they don't want something, they tell me no, and I will stop. Or I will, take something off. If I put something on, they don't want it, I take it off again. People think I'm crazy for doing it. I hear that all the time. So I'm not very involved in the horse world, because people don't understand what I'm doing with my horses. Because usually horses, they get trained quite harshly, and they have to listen. They don't get to have an opinion. They don't get to act up. Things need to be safe. So the horse needs to know if people are around and they want to now ride, then the horse needs to be quiet and do exactly as they're told. It doesn't matter if they want to or not, or if they have a problem or pain or whatever. It doesn't matter. If there's a human around, the horse is to be quiet and do as it's told. So that's the gist, really, of the horse world and training. And that is mainly for safety. And then, of course, people love their horses, and then they're all like, oh, I love you, and and they feed them and groom them and take great care of them, and they do love them so much. But the horse loses its freedom, and the horse loses its, voice, so to speak. If it was a human, you would call this, what would you call it? The person would definitely be traumatized and controlled and in an abusive relationship, for sure. But it's a horse, so it's okay, right? So yeah, my horses don't have that. They are 100% just there. And if they don't like something or someone, then they will show it, and I will know. And it's really a beautiful thing, because horses don't want to harm humans ever. So to me, this is not a case of safety at all. My horses have never hurt anyone, and they will never hurt anyone. If you back them into a corner and try and force them, then they may try to defend themselves. Otherwise, there's no way they're going to hurt anyone. And they're so sensitive and so aware and tuned in that they're incredibly safe, even around little children. I had a friend come over once with her little boy who was about maybe 4 or 5 years old. And my horses know. Once there is a child, they just know. So with me, if I come to them, they'll be reckless, not reckless, but they will be like, yeah, whatever, it's just mom, and they might knock their head into mine, you know, because they want to play with me, or they might swish their tail in my face just for jokes, you know, and I constantly have to, you know, tell them off, or like it's a play, you know, a back and forth sort of cute play. They also used to be in the habit of just picking up buckets and throwing them at me, which is absolutely hilarious. But as soon as this little boy came, 4 or 5 years old, they stopped moving. They stopped swishing their tails, they stopped moving their feet, and they put their head down. And they just remained that way, and they kept looking at me to check in that everything was okay. And the little boy would go around and like poke their muscles and go like, squishy, and what's this? And, you know, and they were just standing and so curious, trying to sniff the little boy, very gently, only moving their heads so slowly, you know, having a look and always checking in with me. Is everything okay still? You know, am I doing okay? And I was so proud of them when I saw that. This is not something that I trained, that I trained them in. Like, I never asked them to stand still around children or other humans. I never asked them to lower their heads around children or other humans, or stop swishing their tail or anything. I wouldn't even know how to start to ask a horse to not swish their tail. So this is something that they just naturally, intuitively know. And that's how I knew and know that my horses are born for this. They're born for this job. They are born to help people. They're so gentle. They're so safe. They give off such a strong energy, a healing energy, an energy where people are just going to feel so safe to exhale and relax and come out, which I think is the most important thing. If you're going to try and help anyone, and you'll know that for yourself if you check for yourself, you know, if you want to help anyone, there needs to be safety. You need to feel comfortable and safe 100%. And then in that safety, then you are able to come out and search for a connection. And then you can connect, and only then can you start healing. Only then can there be work to be done. Can there be a transformation? It is so imperative that these two conditions are there, that you feel safe and that you now can connect. And that connection doesn't even have to be with me or with your therapist or a coach or a friend. It can be with a horse, with another mammal. So I think my horses will be such incredible healers for people. Yeah, so I mean, I've experienced this very strongly, and I think you can think about that too. When's the time when you can look at yourself and your pain and talk about it with someone? You know, if you talk to someone about your pain, about your problems, you feel safe. There is no way you bring it up if you don't feel safe. And there's been such beautiful research in the last years on somatic healing and how it's so helpful for a lot of people to, instead of talking about their problems, to actually feel into their bodies again. I think so many of us, especially those with trauma, have disconnected from their bodies, have disconnected from their emotions, their feelings, and to sort of feel back into that, to wake back up into your body is so vital. It's so important, and it's the path, I think, for healing for lots of us. That's how it was for me. And there are studies now where yoga is meant to be really, really good for this sort of stuff. And theater play, to reenact a role, you know, of someone, say if you were maybe abused, an abusive childhood, or out of an abusive relationship where you had no voice, where you felt just always overpowered. If you play a role of someone who is powerful and speaks up and, you know, sets boundaries, then even though you are just pretending, that lets the body feel what it would be like. And that's how the body learns. And you find this new feeling, this new physical feeling in you that can help you rewire your brain and find a new way of existing in the world where you are not so helpless, where you are not a victim. I find this incredible. And I think horses will be a great part in this as well. I don't know if this will be researched. I hope so, because there's a lot of stuff you can do with horses to gain confidence, to set boundaries, to tell the horse to back up, to back out of your space. And they will listen to you very respectfully. And you can learn to do it to become louder if you're too soft, or if you're someone who's quite aggressive and defensive. You learn to lower your energy, to meet the horse where they are, and to ask in a gentle way, because there's such strength in softness. And just to play with horses, to move them, to learn to use your body, to use your energy to influence another being, to influence this massive creature, this half-ton animal, and it listens to you. And not just it listens to you, but it's engaged, it's tuned in. And I don't know, I'm so passionate about this. It's the most amazing experience if you haven't had it before with animals, with these horses. It's my time to release tension, anxiety, to reset. It's if I train with my horses, if I play with them, I run with them, I play games with them, I ask them to walk with me. They have to sort of mirror what I'm doing. So I'll run and then suddenly I'll stop and they have to stop suddenly. And then I run again and they have to keep up. And then I turn left and right and they're so incredible, so tuned in that we just move the same. And to allow other people to do that with them and to experience this other creature, this horse, mirroring your movements and being tuned in with you. And it brings you into your body in such a safe environment and in a fun environment. I think one of the main ingredients in this healing journey as well is humor. It's laughter. It is so important. I'm just noticing, I don't think I've ever read about it. I haven't not read. No one ever mentioned laughter, I don't think. But it would definitely play into the polyvagal theory where, the whole mouth, anything with the mouth is connected to the heart and to reset your nervous system to a calm nervous system, to an engaged nervous system, using your speech, communicating. So it's this whole social engagement, that is so vital for our survival, and that calms our nervous system. When we're socially engaging in a safe environment, it's what calms us. So laughter, oh my God, laughter, it's the best medicine. I mean, everyone knows this. Children learn this. You know this just by thinking back, okay, whenever I laugh, I feel so much better. Yeah, so it's incredible fun with the horses. Yay. Okay, so if you have horses and you have done anything like this before, then you have to tell me, please. I'd love to hear it. Or if you've never been around a horse, or you've never really interacted with one and you're maybe a bit scared because they're such big creatures, then let me know as well. I'd love to hear how people feel about horses, think about them, what it invokes in you, how much you've had to do with them, and whether or not you'd be open to trying, therapy with horses, and not just the classic approach of, sitting in an office with a therapist and just talking. Now, I do have to say it's not really therapy what I'm doing, so I'm not a qualified therapist. It is coaching, so it's a bit different. But I think I'm mixing a lot of stuff together, and it always comes back to spirituality. It always comes back to just throw it all away and just learn to be with you. Find you, find your inner light. Because from that point, there's nothing to fix. There's nothing to do once you find that. But I know it's difficult to get there to have that realization. So there are lots of paths to it. And I think the path with the horse is one of the most amazing and fun journeys. It makes for a lot of safety and laughter and connection. And I think that's really all you need to heal and to grow.